Hey everybody, Will Fix here. I got another video for you today. I wanted to put together a couple of my explanations of how I see things work. By the way, watch for all the trash in the comments. Please like and subscribe. If you give this content a thumbs up, it sure helps out. And if you subscribe, you won't miss anything. So I just want to describe a few things to give you a way to think about something. This kind of stuff really helps me. In a description of how gold and XRP are similar, now I get a lot of people that want to detail out extreme fine details in comparisons that this is a rough comparison, okay? So just take it for what it is. You know, for those of you who get super critical, you want to show me how smart you are, you're brilliant, you know, and you have lots of those details worked out. That's awesome. But I like to give explanations that are easy for me to understand and how I think about things. So that's what this is. So just bear with me. So let's pretend this is all I had to act as a plate. Let's pretend this is the market and all the gold is piled up right here in the world, okay? And just imagine that coming off of every side of this plate is going to all the countries of the world, okay? All the currencies of the world around, and then they are looking from a perspective here at this pile of gold and the cost of it, okay? Now, in the basket of currencies, and just the way that it happens to be, when the dollar, say the dollar's on this side, when the dollar goes down, all these other currencies go up. Some of them go up drastic, some of them go up just a little, some of them barely go up, and maybe not at all. But what happens to the price of gold when the value and the price of the dollar on this side goes down is that pile looks bigger. In other words, it's more expensive. Gold is more expensive when the dollar devalues. It takes more dollars to buy the gold. In these countries over here that the currency value went up, gold looks like it got cheaper. Now, what ends up happening is the value of gold is so liquid, and gold is just one of them things, you know, that everybody loves, right? So everybody wants to own it. Well, what happens in the valuation of all of this is people search for an arbitrage difference. So you can trade currency and try to buy gold and catch things in the midst of the, before it's stabilized, you can catch it while it's tilting, while the currencies are churning and changing valuations, just depending on all kinds of things, but not getting into that. So what happens is people start buying gold. There's whales that understand to buy gold when the value of gold goes down, but there's a ton of people that buy it when it goes up, which is counterintuitive to investing, but people don't trust it when it's going down and feel like they'll lose money, but that's when the price is getting better. So in the exchange of all of that with gold, what ends up happening is arbitrage purchasers who want to buy for a better value and who have traded currency, and then this change takes place, well, then all of a sudden gold looks cheaper to the currency that they're currently in, so they'll buy gold. Now this acts as a stabilization because all the arbitrage purchases that are taking place to gain the value of the shifting markets ends up as a stabilization because gold has its liquidity. Now, this is really no different than XRP. XRP has a value. When the valuation of our currencies change, the same thing is happening. And look, you know, this plate, it can do all of this. There's different values, different currencies that do different things, and then it forms a stabilization through arbitrage trading, honestly, and through people not wanting to make too much of an advantage, so they'll buy a whole bunch, right? And then they'll end up selling, you know, and as these things do, the buying and selling, and people are making money, and buying and selling is going on. And so gold becomes this sought after thing because it's maintaining a stability, and actually all of the currencies are shifting around it. Well, XRP has this same thing going on. This is the same kind of thing, because you have all of these people that all these countries and all these different currencies that it can exchange to. So that acts as a stabilization factor. Now I want to talk about some other stabilizing factors. And I've talked to y'all have heard me mention this before. If you haven't, bear with me, because some people haven't heard this, and people have told me they like this description. Let's imagine an extremely flexible hose. It's extremely flexible. It can go to 1,000 times its size and then stretch right back, okay? And this hose, let's, for the sake of speaking about it, let's say it's a 1-inch hose, okay? At its current size. All right, now pretend for a moment that you have also off of that hose these like balloons coming off, the big store full of water. Say this 1-inch hose is full of water, and these balloons are full of water. And let's say there's a bunch of them on there, full of water. Okay, the water is representative of XRP, okay? Now, imagine that on one side of this 1-inch hose is 25 quarter-inch hoses, okay? So 25 quarter-inch hoses, if there's only one or two producing, sending water, that 1-inch hose, nothing has to change, does it? Nothing changes. It comes out the other side, it's just fine. 3 or 4 hoses, you know, 4 hoses, now we're at the capacity of the hose. That's a pretty fun spot. And then we see price variation. The expansion of the hose would be price variation. As a 5th hose comes on, that center hose gets bigger, the price gets to be more. Now let's say all of a sudden 30 hoses or 15 hoses come on all at once, and there's this big lump that's needing to come through. Well, guess what's going to happen? Okay, these little water balloons I talked about, those are now the AMM, automated market makers. The liquidity pools don't exist yet. That's going to be voted in, I'm pretty confident. Let's say those are the liquidity pools, by the way. When this giant need comes through, it's going to pull the water out of those balloons, and those people that had money in those liquidity pools are going to earn money. They're going to earn money because their money just got used. You know, so all of this money was parked money. And so then the hose swells up to accommodate all of that money. It doesn't matter where it came from. It didn't have to come from these little hoses. It could have came from the liquidity pools, you know, but the demand had to be there on this other end. Okay, so when somebody needs to send a bunch of money, if there's not enough coin, the price has to go up. The hose has to swell. The liquidity pools will have to drain. Now, up and apart from AMMs is Ripple's ability to adjust the price of XRP by adding coin if they need to subdue it, or purchasing XRP if they need to inflate it. Will they do it? Yes, absolutely. Now, this is not going to have a deflationary item for a long time. This is going to be more inflationary to meet the need. So I wanted to get that description out there, that the flow of XRP creates the demand. Now, I want to throw with it, because people usually always want to talk about, well, it's only 3 seconds. Yeah, you're right. Some of this can settle in 3 seconds. But the amount of the demand that a company has sending billions of dollars, you got to start calculating a couple ideas here. One idea is there's 53 billion coins at 60 cents, 63 cents today, probably. Let's say they're at $1. Okay, so you can move 53 billion? No, because they're not available to fill up. They're not available to purchase to send the money. Why? Well, the liquidity pools are full and there's people that have parked money. What about the CBDCs? You know, if there's a couple countries that XRP is working with, all of that XRP is busy. It's in circulation, but it's not available for circulation of moving more money. So you start cutting the 53 billion down, man, by people who are holding it, by the liquidity pools, by the CBDCs, by what else? What else? We've been talking about in a couple days. What else eats up available coin? That's right, custody. Custody. Guess what else does? Tokenization. The tokenized property isn't in there for 3 seconds, is it? You tokenize a house, you tokenize a building, and you sell to 50 different people. Those tokens they're in there until somebody buys all the tokens and pulls it all out. So we're talking about how XRP is going to explode in price. There's so many bullish factors to XRP. I lose my mind. I think about this stuff. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to the moon. When I created the spreadsheet and I started calculating what would be absolutely necessity, it'd be necessity for these companies. If you take how much these companies, HSBC for instance, let's say they're moving $1 trillion a year, okay? And these are all not actual figures. I'm just giving you the idea. If you move $1 trillion a year, that's so much a day. Now we're going to go with 365 days. So if you divide out $1 trillion a year, you come up with a daily figure. I created a spreadsheet that comes up with that daily figure. Now, oh, but that settles in 3 seconds. Sure it does. The actual payment sends and is able to settle. But they don't sell the XRP into their own currency the second that they get it. They would be foolish to do so, because then they got to turn around and buy some, right? They might have got it at a good rate and it's going up, you know, so they're going to want to hang on to it because they got more transactions to send money. So it doesn't instantly settle into translated to where XRP was purchased, sent in 3 seconds, and then liquidated into a currency. That's not going to happen. If it does, it's going to be rare because banks have Nostro and Vostro accounts for settling. And so that money has to be piled up somewhere. There has to be the availability to send more XRP to continue doing business. So when I figured the daily amount, I just did like 15 companies and got to an absolute necessity of $100 per XRP. There's no way around it, folks. There is no way around it. The coin has to accommodate the need. So this liquidity thing, and I left out, listen, I left out all kinds of things. I left out supply and demand prices. I left out the fact that exchanges, would run out. These glitches, I think it's when exchanges are running out and the algorithm's adjusting the price so that it doesn't get empty, but then the glitch goes away because there were transactions that took place at several of those glitches. Actual transactions took place at those prices. So I believe that that's a possibility that the algorithm is seeking out to make sure there's liquidity and drove the price up within the exchange. So then you get all the exchanges and you have Ripple that will do the same thing if all the exchanges have some kind of a crisis of liquidity. Then some buying and selling will go on to inflate that price. So this is just a very bullish reminder, and I want to use those things to describe some of those to encourage you. I say, man, hang on to that XRP. That's my suggestion. I can't give advice, because of all the stupid rules, right? So I'm not giving advice, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm hanging on for dear life because this 60-something cents, dude, all this is going to pass. And I want to throw this in there. Did you notice that today, we're moving despite what Bitcoin's doing? I love to see that little breakaway. Those little signs mean a lot to me. But we got a utility run that's going to be taking place. and I hope it's real soon. I don't know if it's going to be when settlement happens or what, but I'm just saying, everybody, listen, if you like this content, please like and subscribe. Share this. I get a lot of questions about some of these things that I describe in this way, and I hope it helps. I really do. But if it does help, share this stuff, man. Give me thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you can. And I know I made another video in the same day. I don't know if I should apologize for that. It just depends on how many views there are, I guess. So this is, I know, long. We're at 15 minutes, but I just wanted to throw that out there and remind y'all of all the some of the bullish factors that I see about the amazing Ripple and XRP. You guys hang in there. Have a good day.